It's your boy, they call me G. Welcome to the Dad's Group Chat Podcast. Today we have the Bachata duo coming from Corona, 20 years in the business. They've been together for 20 years as well. Liza and Willie. How you doing, guys?
We doing good. We doing good.
Tell
What's
me,
up,
how you
man?
feeling? How you feeling?
We feeling a vibe. Your hospitality is on point.
Thank
Nos
you,
dieron Benito.
Nah, you know.
Tenemos crackers here with salami de todo. Tenemos grapes. Estamos bien.
The cashutery, charcuterie, ¿cómo se dice eso?
Esa fancy stuff. Eso
That
mismo.
is there.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you for having us
Word.
and for the great hospitality. As soon as we came in, you presented us with much love. And even when we first met over the phone,
It's just the energy. It's just
yeah,
a
it's
all
vibe.
about
positive energy.
It's all about energy. That's the thing. Me personally, I like to give good energy to receive good energy. Same thing, vice versa. When I receive great energy, I like to give even more positive energy. And that's what it's about, really.
Amen.
Especially when you meet somebody for the first time. You know what I'm saying? You want to give them that good impact. Plus, you're in my house, and thank you for coming to my house. Thank you for,
Gracias a ti.
Gracias
thank
a
you
ti.
for being here and allowing me to interview you guys. And we're gonna talk about the business, the bachata business, your trajectory in the bachata business. We're gonna talk about life, kids, family. We're gonna go deep, So just prepare yourselves, guys.
We ready.
But the first thing I want to get into, right? Life in Corona, growing up, because that's where we're from. We're from Queens. If you don't know, Queens is in the building today, of course.
That's right.
And that's why I'm wearing the
loving
Queen
the shirt.
shirt. See
Yep,
what I'm
yep,
saying?
yep. I felt that.
I was gonna find the Queen 7 hat, but I couldn't find it. I was gonna go to the Coliseum, pero no me dio tiempo, tú ves. Pero I want to start off in the very beginning, before the bachata, right? Growing up in New York City, how was it growing up? And we're gonna lead into like how you found your passion for music. But growing up in Corona, the vibes, what was it back then?
Go first. Man.
Well, me, family, I had cousins who lived close by, restaurants full. It was just Dominican town. There was only one Puerto Rican family, and they were known, of course, because ellos eran los únicos puertorriqueños que estaban ahí. But
Yeah.
it was just a vibe. El vecino, todo el mundo se conocía.
Yeah.
Y todo el mundo se saludaba y todo el mundo se ayudaba. So, growing up with my father being, a taxi driver that he used to be, and then my mom, peluquera, such a typical, Dominican.
Yeah.
But I grew up with them working really hard, and my escape was music. And I found that because tú sabes que everybody hustles, and Corona Queens, somebody,
Yep.
stole the karaoke radio. And then they're like, oh, estoy vendiendo este radio aquí. No, mami, ¿qué a cuánto? And she bought me that radio.
Nice.
And that's when it became my passion. Juan y Nelson, the record label, used to have a store in Corona, Queens.
Right.
So, a ellos estar ahí era que yo me compraba mis pistas, my microphones, and all that stuff. And that's how the music evolved in my life. And across the street, que todavía existe el restaurante that I used to sing, La Brisa,
Right.
I used to sing there since I was
Wow.
8 years old. Yo me
Oh.
atreví, yo fui un día, crucé la calle, yo dije, you know what? Imagine like your daughter. She's 8 years old. Picture her crossing the street to go to her local restaurant just to sing. And my passion went from there. It was my escape. It was really my zone out moment. And I used to write my music since I was 8 years old. And that was my thing. Y ahí era que yo estaba, en lo mío.
So it wasn't bachata at first. It was just music.
It was Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston.
Beautiful.
And Selena, for sure.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And Ana Gabriel, yes.
Yes. We're gonna talk about
Oh, yeah.
what I heard and what I envisioned, and and we're gonna talk about everything, passion involved.
Amen.
Willie, your upbringing, New York City, Corona, East Elmhurst or Elmhurst.
Well, I was I was born in Astoria, as a matter of
Astoria.
fact, but I was raised in Jackson Heights, and my upbringing was different. I was into filming, acting.
Baseball.
Baseball was my number one thing. I aspired to be a baseball player.
As we all did at one point,
Yeah.
Dominicans.
Exactly. And music, though, although I didn't perform it or sing it, it was in me, because every party I would dance and entertain my family. I was always the dancer of the family. I would dance with like my aunts, my cousins, my nieces, and my mom and everything. So I would always entertain my family with that.
Right.
But how I got into music was in high school. For some reason, I decided to sign up to guitar class, and I started learning the guitar. Y Raulín Rodriguez is the bachatero that inspired me to play guitar. So I learned his songs first, and then I remember we became the first like people to play bachata in that high school, in Newtown High School.
Nice.
In Queens.
I'll never forget Mr. Ficolora. That was our principal.
Yeah.
He had to scream, "Everybody sit down," because everybody was getting on top of the chairs. Imagine,
Yeah.
you know, quiero saber, na 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 mi pensamiento. So imagine you singing algo así.
Right.
And el tiempo, what? That was, damn, I'm going to say the year. That was what,
It was a while ago.
2001, 2002. You know, you hyping up kids that they listen that with their parents.
Yep.
You telling me that back in the days when you listen to all this R&B and all this hip hop like Nas, Jay-Z, you know, Tupac and Biggie, they would listen to bachata? No. They'll listen to it because of their parents.
Oh, yeah.
So now you're listening to these young teenagers playing it. It's like a hype mode. So everybody got on top of the chairs. You remember that?
Yeah, so
they
when
had to sit them down.
when they heard that percussion,
Oh yeah.
forget about it.
I remember
The house
that.
went down.
Listen, we could talk about like passion for music because as kids, I guess all of us, right? As kids, me personally, from my experience, I didn't appreciate the music that was being played at the time. You just hit it in the head, right? Because our parents used to play like music that are timeless to us now. Right. So, and while they were playing it, we heard it, we danced it, but we really didn't pay attention to it much. But now, like us, like
It hits different.
it hits different now.
Even in you know when it hits me? The holidays.
Yeah.
Cuando yo oigo a Fernandito Villalona
Listen.
con tabaco y ron, tabaco,
All that.
tabaco. Oh my God, I have to put it every Thanksgiving and I dance it with my son.
Listen.
And I know that's going to become a tradition for him because every Thanksgiving I turn on old school 80s merengues. Why? Because it reminds me of my childhood and Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
Especially, you know, when you listen to music nowadays, it's like you appreciate it more.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
crazy.
everything, like baladas, salsas, merengues, everything.
All genres. I'm talking about all of them. You play those like hits from the back in the day in Thanksgiving and holidays and stuff like that. It means more to us now. And I'm starting the tradition of, you know, letting my daughters listen to
Absolutely.
it because I want it to become a thing for them to take that music with them because it's timeless.
That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's timeless. So you guys met in high school.
Right.
You said in Newtown High School. I always wanted to go to Newtown, man, but I ended
Really?
up in Jamaica. We could talk about that. We could talk about that. We could talk about that. Yeah, I ended up in Jamaica High School. Shout out to Jamaica High School.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to because I had a whole I had 7, 8, 9 cousins in Corona.
Yeah.
I got
So you
a
wanted
lot
to
of
be with your
I wanted to be
family.
with them.
I get
Yeah.
it.
So,
Yeah, I'm not
Get
gonna
it.
lie, the crew was cool
Yeah.
in Newtown.
Pero si tú estabas en la juntilla que no era tuya,
Oh, it's
tú
over.
sabes que it's not going to go right for you. End
Yeah.
of story. Yeah.
Yeah, it was damn, I really wanted to go to Newtown, but we can get into that. But what you call it? You guys met in Newtown. What age were you guys when you guys met?
I'm a young buck in the way that I was a late birthday, so December counted. So I was 13 when I went to high school. You're usually 14.
Nice.
But because my birthday's in December,
Te
that's
cayó bien.
why yo entré temprano. But
So
I
I
was
was
13.
So it's funny because freshman year, I was in science class,
Yeah.
and she was in a class across the hall, and I saw her like from the hallway,
I remember seeing him as well.
and
Right.
it's not like it was like love at first sight. It wasn't that at all. It was just like I saw her, and I pictured the girl from that Brazilian song. La, da, 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 na, 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 na.
I danced
La,
like
la,
18
la,
times in a
lambada.
row every December. I don't know what is
La
lambada.
lambada.
La Lambada, yeah.
Man, that was epic.
There was una rubia in that video.
Oh, I
A
didn't
little
know there was-
girl. If you see the video,
Nice.
and she reminded me of her. So I looked at her, I glimpsed at her real quick, and I'm
I
like,
thought
oh.
he was cute. I saw him and I was like,
But she was staring at me. She was staring at me at the same time. But I guess she was staring because she said she thought I was cute. But I was looking at her for, because she looked like somebody else. But
So you're not gonna admit it?
no, he never had that attraction towards me.
Oh, okay.
Y yo inocentemente, because I found him cute, I stared. Duh, I ain't blind either.
Right.
Pero then it just became, then the semester after that, that's when we then had music class together. That's where we met.
the semester after that we had
And you know
music
what's funny?
class.
We didn't know this story of the I looked at a guy and he looked at me until I was like, babe, ¿tú me acuerdas
Wow.
de un muchacho that I stared? He was like,
It was.
it was you. I stared at you. I was like, wait a minute. That's you. And we both were like, oh my God, la coincidencia de la vida.
Yeah, and I always say that I think that was just God saying, that's going to be your future wife.
Yeah.
And you don't know it.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think about that.
And Willie, when I say he was my boy, he was my boy. Because I always had guy friends.
Right.
Growing up, I only had like 3 girlfriends. De amigas como mis amigas. Pero no le contaba todo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I had one friend in junior high school. She took my boyfriend. And then after that, I was like, I don't know if I want real friends. So, and but my boy was...
It be like that sometimes.
You know what
that
I mean?
happened to me, but that's
Pero, tú ves.
water under the bridge.
No, eso son cosas muchachos, gracias a Dios.
Yeah.
Pero no, that's Willie was my guy that I would tell him everything, and till this day I still say he's my best friend.
That's
we
beautiful.
joke and we do stuff like if we weren't still in high school.
It's funny because even like junior year, fast forward junior year,
Yeah.
when we really became close,
Yeah.
she would even hook me up with girls. Like that. That's
Pero
how.
en el
That's
sentido
how
que porque
cool.
he's like, yo, she's cute, and I'm like, you want me to hook you up?
So y'all became friends before.
Él
That's
iba a mi
beautiful.
casa y mami hacía tostones con un salami.
Nada más pa'
Willy,
ti.
ve, pa' que
Nada más pa'
coma.
ti te lo hacía.
Mire.
Yeah.
And papi used to love going to BJ so all my friends could come to my house. He would buy like this box full of chips, Twinkies, Malta, India, all this stuff like that would make the kids stay in my house so they could go to my house. So he
me
could know
back.
what's going on. Because papi era sabio. Él sabía cómo entrar a los muchachitos. Y él decía, yo, so what girl you got with this and that? Como para echarle el oído y el ojo para ver quién es quién.
I need to talk to your dad.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Papi was always dope though. Papi era más suave que mami, believe it or not. I used to
Yeah.
trust talking to him more
Yeah.
than my mom in that
Wow.
aspect. Because papi was dope. It's still dope.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah,
nice.
There's just another story with that.
You got a story about your in-law?
Oh, yeah, papi,
Yeah.
Shout out to all the in-laws. I love you, my in-laws.
No, I love them to death.
Yes.
It's nothing negative. But when we first told her parents that we were going out, I told her mom,
Right.
She was
who's the strongest, and she didn't want me for her in the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ella dijo
You
no.
thought she was the softest,
Yeah.
and you didn't know she was the
well,
No,
softest.
él fue
actually-
pan de ella con una flor como to ease the
Oh, he
situation
went
because
like
he
a
knew she
gentleman.
was strong.
No, actually, no. I knew
He did like a gentleman.
I knew she was the strongest because obviously I knew Liza already for a while. But then she kept saying, it was funny because she kept saying, oh, deja que yo le diga a Danilo para que tú veas que se va a poner bravo. Pero
My father,
Her
he was
father-
like, que mejor que sea tú que otro loco.
her
Yo
father
prefiero que sea
always
tú.
liked me, like
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the beginning,
Yeah,
always.
yeah.
Nice.
Into that. Pero mami, van a dañar la amistad. ¿Cómo va a ser que ustedes van a estar de lo que era así para entonces después no ser amigos? Ustedes tienen algo bueno para que se vuelvan noviecitos y después. And that was always my fear. Yo vivía enamorada sola. And he never knew. But that was my fear because I was like, damn, if I tell him, he's probably not going to want to hang out with me. He's not
Yeah.
going to feel the same and then I'm going to get hurt.
Not gonna come to the crib. Not gonna.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
so I wanted him to still come and
So
stuff. Pero it was ya era prom time, this is the time of prom. And I always tell
Yeah.
all my girls, because I'm going to say it now, I am a makeup artist. This is what I do.
Okay.
And when I do all these prom girls, I tell them my story and they're like, oh my God, I wish. All these girls now, they're not having these dates and stuff no more.
It's totally
like how
different.
we used to be like us. Pero when I tell them my story, they're like, oh my God, I wish. And they're like, how long you been having with, your husband? And I tell them I'm gonna have 21 years.
Look at that. Look at that. And look,
Yeah.
back then, Willie went with a flower to your mom.
Yes.
It's called being a gentleman. It's called chivalry. ¿Cómo que se dice esa palabra? Tú sabes.
Exactamente.
You know what I'm trying to say. The thing is, open the door for the ladies, all that stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure that exists now, but hoy en día
Yeah, he
totalmente
has his
diferente.
things that I still be having to tell him, like, babe.
Yeah, so the way I look at it is that
I'm sorry, babe.
if we don't worry about our project, nobody else is going to worry about it. And
That's a fact.
I always have to be on top of everything. I always say it. Liza is the soul of this project, but I am the heart of it because I keep striving, I keep hustling. I'm consistent with everything.
That's the key.
We even have someone that's helping us out with booking, Joel. Shout out to Joel. He's helping us, get gigs and stuff.
Right.
And you could even ask him. I'm always like following up. Hey, what happened with this lead? What's going on with
Willie
this?
is that annoying guy.
He's an artist and an
Pero
A&R.
not annoying de que being obnoxious annoying. That annoying guy that just wants to make sure and triples reconfirms and make sure that
Everything's
this
lined
this
up.
is the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And tardiness for him is a no. If we are late, it's maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we make sure that the kids are right, everything is right, porque no soy yo la única artista que después se queda con los niños en la casa, ni es él el único artista que yo me quedo con los niños en la casa. We both leave. Nosotros los dos nos vamos.
Yeah. And we're going to talk
Es
about that.
difícil.
We're going to talk about that.
Pero he's on top of everything when it comes to making sure that the bookings are right, to making sure that everything, contract, everything, whatever it is that you have to do with making parties or whatever. I don't know how he does it. Me, on the other hand, I'm more into the fashion, what he's going to wear, what I'm going to wear, cada cosa que nos vamos a poner, como yo le voy a hacer pelo a él, como yo me lo voy a hacer yo. I'm more into the fashion side.
Right.
And then he takes care of the business.
Right. And I mean, I got to give it to you because it's a lot. I could tell it's a lot. It's a lot on the back end. People think that, let's say, for example, you guys go up on stage and you guys perform and people are dancing and having a great time, and then you leave. People think it's easy, and it's not. There's a lot of back end stuff that happens.
Yeah, definitely.
And
You want me to tell you what?
Yeah.
We were the first, and I am proud to say this, bachateros, in the Museum of Washington, D.C. to perform.
The Smithsonian.
The Smithsonian Museum, right? Hay mucha historia. They have Selena stuff. They have Celia Cruz stuff. They have stuff that is historic there. And for us to be the first bachateros to be there, amazing.
So
I'm so sorry, honey. Lo que tú hiciste ese día, I gotta give it up to him. We had to stay in a hotel out of pocket. We had to do what we had to do to make sure the guys were good.
Yep.
That hurt because, we got kids and we got stuff and we got bills to pay, right? Because he had to make sure that everything was going to go right on stage, él subió como un loco corriendo que hasta the bow tie estaba volteado.
Yeah.
And he performed like that. You think he cared? He just wanted to make sure everything was right. That's just Willie.
So that was a adventurous trip because imagine us, we booked the hotel and I had all the reservations good. So on our way down there, I forgot why. Something was wrong with the reservation. For some reason, they didn't reserve the room for us or something. And mind you, we're driving down with the whole band.
Y ya son las
Oh
12.
my God. How many people?
Como las 12 de la noche.
This is a total of 9 of us, I think.
Wow.
And after midnight, I have to search for hotels.
Some hotels were like, no.
No way.
And I was driving, like
Como loco,
with a
entrando a todo hotel.
chicken without a head,
Yeah.
trying to book a room, and multiple rooms. We ended up booking a few rooms in one hotel and a few rooms in another hotel.
Wow.
And I just kept apologizing to the guys,
They were like, are you crazy?
And
we see how you're doing. Like,
I
don't
barely
ever
slept that night, I
apologize. Yeah.
remember.
And to perform the next day and go crazy the next day too.
And then when we performed the next day, I had an issue with the loading dock. I couldn't park in the loading dock for some reason.
Right.
When we parked there during sound check, but for the actual performance, I couldn't park there again.
Because he drives too.
I don't know why. And the whole band is on stage waiting for me, and I'm looking for parking.
Oh my God.
Mind you, this is like in the, I think it was Independence Ave. I forget the main Ave over there in DC.
Right.
Where it's full of museums and stuff, and cathedrals and stuff like that. The what's that monument? The tall one.
What you call it?
The one from Forrest Gump, the movie.
Yeah, I know what you're
it's
talking
in that
about.
area where that Lincoln.
You should know.
The Lincoln thing.
You should. The Lincoln Memorial.
Right.
There you go.
And that's the area. So I had to.
I think.
Thank God, I found the parking. Well, actually, no. I parked in a spot I wasn't supposed to park. Cause I said, screw it. They're on stage.
They
They're
can
waiting
tow
for
it,
me.
whatever.
They're waiting for me. I barely made it, man.
Wow.
The guys were playing the intro, and I'm running through the door.
And I'm telling you, bow tie, crazy and everything, sweating, but we made it. We performed.
You know, it's just
Nobody noticed anything, only us because we knew what was going on. But we nailed it. We did it. They booked us. They loved us so much. We got invited to the gala, the 45th year gala with Biden and all these people.
Nice.
Beautiful experience.
President Biden was present.
Yeah. Like a lot of people.
We actually
that
met Leslie Grace.
Was he dancing?
We didn't
No.
peep. No.
Nah, he wasn't
Okay.
dancing. They helped him be escorted out of there.
Nice. Talk about monkey wrenches, right? Because it's life. You could prepare all you want. When things start happening, you got to be prepared for the kind of like the switch.
It's not
the,
easy.
The left turn, the quick thinking, and like you said, Willie's the one that
He's
that
like
kind of
that.
like
He's
handles
like that.
everything.
I'm the one that's like, but what? Or how about? And he's like, ma. Él es del momento. Yo pienso mucho, what if and future.
Right.
You know?
right.
I like to be prepared because I like to have plan A, B, C, and D. He's like, tirémonos de cabeza, vamos. And I'm
Right,
like,
right.
Yeah,
okay.
she's the one that makes me stop and think.
Yeah, I'm a
Like-
thinker. When I get mad or whatever, I think before I speak. And yeah, yo soy bien.
That's talent in itself.
Yeah, I'm very... But I learned that because of him.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Pero entonces, él no es así, but I learned because he's very patient.
Yeah.
When you love somebody, you change certain things of yourself.
You change a lot of things.
And, you know, I would talk too much and I'll see how much I'll hurt. And because I'll hurt, I didn't like how I'll hurt him. So I would think and pause myself and bite my tongue and then I'll say what I'm going to say. O si no me quedo callada.
When did you guys realize that about each other? Those strengths right there.
When I first moved out with him.
Right.
When we moved out.
I mean, when you
That's
move
your
out.
reality check right there in your relationship,
Listen,
period.
we could dive into that because that was a reality check.
Talk
for me
and
too.
let's preach and let's let all these kids know
Listen.
real stuff. Cause
And you know, I was with my now wife 3 years before I proposed, right? So
no, 5 years.
and I proposed in Left Rack in
We know
Corona.
left, right?
Left, right.
I proposed there in front of the family and stuff like that. And after that, like maybe a couple of months after, we moved together. And that's when we kind of like got to know
Is
each
when
other.
you live together.
And then a couple of months later, boom, she got pregnant with our first. And then life just started coming at us like crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about monkey wrenches and left turns.
Yeah.
Kids will do that to you too. And you guys mentioned your kids. I wanted to talk about, you know, yes, you guys have known each other for over 20 years since high school sweetheart. It's a beautiful story because not a lot of people make it that way, right? A lot of people start off in this like adventure of love and just
Yeah, because you're so young and all that, and then
Right.
you realize and then you move on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
impression where you're like, oh my God, this is life, this is beautiful. But then, like you said, when you move in, when it becomes real, people can't connect. People can't handle
Also,
that.
economically, you could love each other
yes.
so much, but when it comes to paying those bills,
Tell me about it.
but you ain't the man, you're the one that's supposed to be paying. El orgullo de esa mujer también. Instead of that, I don't know, machista, that you have to pay the bills, you gotta, no. We're gonna do this. Tú no puedes. I'm gonna help you this month. And then it worked out for us, half and half of the rent, so
Right.
we could go good, porque si yo lo dejaba solo, He was gonna be
The ship was going
no,
sink.
and that's not the way it works.
It's not.
So when you get that privilege and then that job, that he'll get that job promotion, and he could say, "Baby, you know what? I got it. I'll handle it. I'll pay the bills." That's when we women should be like, "All right, baby, you sure? Okay, cool." So then you can have it. It's not like you can have it all in the beginning and then expect for it to stay the same, especially when you got kids. It's not gonna work.
And then
like
in
that.
New York City, this city
Thank
is
you.
expensive.
Yeah.
Right. So as I was mentioning before, you hit it in the head again about the kids. Like the kids come into play. You guys are in the bachata business for years, right? At this point, you guys had the
Correct.
kids, and how many years were you guys in the business already when you guys had your first child?
So we actually we performed professionally I started in 2003, I believe.
Well, we started in high school. He had his band. It was called Juventud in 2000.
Okay.
2001.
Yeah, we did that in high school, but I mean like professionally when I was
You were Randy Andy.
Randy Andy, yeah. 03, I believe.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
since 03, you know, we've been performing professionally. She got in the band in 04, I think.
Correct.
Okay.
And we were doing that up until 2007 or 8.
5. Then we made our own band, which was called MW.
No, but I mean in that level.
In that level, yeah.
Like, because we signed the contract, and we did our own band.
Right.
Yeah.
It was 3 of us at the time. That was in 05.
Right.
We released an album. We toured in DR. You know, we had a tour here.
Nice.
But then unfortunately, you know, things didn't work out, so we broke up. We stopped doing music then.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Because of that
It
initial breakup.
traumatized us.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. It
And
did.
this is before the first kid.
Yeah, way before.
Way
Okay.
before.
I'm a planner.
Okay.
I like to have things para yo estar suavecita y bien y que todo trabaje in a perfect world.
Right.
I'm a planner. And I was like, if we're not going to be married, I don't want no kids. Sorry, but like I said, I think about the future. If you can't guarantee me something for tomorrow, I'm not just going to start popping kids and moving out and doing stuff como lo loco. So...
Yeah, so we
yeah.
stopped doing music. You know, we
got to enjoy ourselves
Right.
as a couple.
We got
moved
married.
We moved out 2007 together in Spaghetti Park in Corona.
Nice.
We used to live literally across the street from Lemon Ice Kings.
Oh.
We used to live there.
Yeah.
you know
So-
7-Eleven
Yes.
on top.
On top that building.
Okay.
We
Okay.
used to
Okay.
live there. And then we moved out to our parents' basement. And that's when he really spoke to my mom like, oh man.
This
Un día
is-
yo estaba enferma, tenía una gripe malísima. Y mami, ven para que yo te ayude. Y qué sé yo qué. Y dice Willie, no. Yo la puedo cuidar. That's when my mom got shook back.
Ooh.
She was like, "Está bien." And then after that, she saw him differently. Like, oh
Nice.
shoot, he could take care of my daughter. Then está bien. Then from there, in 2009, we moved to Jackson Heights.
Right.
That was one of the best moments of our relationship, being without kids, ever.
Right.
I say it because we kept getting promoted in our jobs. I used to work for MAC Cosmetics. I used to be management in the one in Queens Center Mall.
Okay.
I'm talking about
We-
many years ago.
I guess everybody. I worked at Queen Center Mall too, but
You
that's a whole
see?
different story. Go ahead.
I opened the MAC store in 2006,
Oh, wow.
back in those days. Y entonces
Okay.
I worked in MAC till 2011. So people remember me, I had pink hair back in those days.
Okay.
Pero entonces Willie kept getting promoted, I kept getting promoted, and había dinero, se veía.
Yeah,
La renta
stability.
no era como antes. I'm
Yeah.
talking about 2009. So we would go out, eat all the time. We were living the couple life
With no kids.
with no kids.
Man, beautiful time.
Amazing, beautiful time. And we were together for a very long time too, so
Okay.
we were enjoying each other.
Right.
Then he wanted to get married, and then I didn't. And that was always my dream since I was a little girl.
Right.
But I was too comfortable with the fact that why we gotta get married. So for some reason, I don't know, and I still don't know to this day why I thought like that.
How many years you guys had together at that point?
At that point, we had 7 years together. I remember because on our 8th year, that's when we got married.
Okay.
Our 8th year together.
Was you expecting a ring from Willie before that?
He gave me a ring before that.
I gave her like 3.
Pero, because he kept proposing, he kept upgrading. He still kept upgrading after we got married.
Oh.
Es que the thing is, mira.
Willie, you the man.
Pero
I-
upgrading to the point, more, ¿cómo te digo?
I
en el
proposed
sentido,
in the
he
movie
Talk to me, because I want to know.
Because he he didn't know how to propose. And I always say how whack he proposed.
So he was like, nah, try again on.
Yeah. Strike one.
Mira,
Strike
pero
two.
I think that the worst one you did, I gotta let the world know.
Talk to me.
The worst one that Willie did was que in the movie theater, the movie was about to start. Él dije que se va a amarrar de que los tenis. Y me dice, baby, will you marry me? De que amarrándose. I'm like, yo, the movie's gonna start. Siéntate y dame el anillo.
You not
ese
even paying
mierda.
attention.
I told him, dame ese anillo, ya. And I was like, oh, it's pink, it's cute. I still have that ring, by the way. And he was like, so ya, that's it. I'm like, yeah, that's it. And was that even a proposal?
Damn.
Ya la película va a empezar. Like, you know what I mean? And he was like, he thought he was doing something romantic, but I'm gonna be honest, he's not romantic either. Willie's not a planner. I keep saying it. He's not a planner. Willie is the guy of the moment. In his head, maybe it was romantic, but
I'm Team Willie. Why?
you know what I mean?
Why I'm Team Willie? Because I had a little
Pero
corny.
you know what it is? And us
proposal
women need
too.
to understand, if you know that your man is not a planner, if you know your man is not romantic, stop complaining, because that's who you got with. I'm sorry, ladies.
And I was
I'm
about to say that.
I'm pro ladies, but
I heard that differently. I saw that differently going in my head.
no, mores. Yo sabía que no era así. So yo le dije, ya, va a empezar la película. But I kept looking at my ring. And just the effort of how nervous he was just knowing that, that's what I took in.
That was the first time you
No.
proposed? Third time?
I don't want to say.
The second? That was the second time.
I don't want to say the first. Estamos jugando billar delante de todos nuestros amigos. He's like, I want to
man.
talk and I want to say something. Y me agarró y me sentó arriba de la mesa de billar.
Well,
I want to marry this girl.
We gotta take a drink. Let's take a drink.
I want to marry this girl. And I was like, oh, you do? He was like, here's the ring. Mind you, era de lo malo que compró.
Yeah, you know.
Pero lo que él podía.
Hey, man, we living in New York City. This shit
Pero
ain't,
I'm going to
this shit
say
is
one
expensive.
thing. When he really then proposed was with our dog, may she rest in peace, Suki.
Okay.
La Negra. She was an all-black Pomeranian. He put the ring on her collar. He's like, can you take out the dog? Yo estaba cansada. Y yo en la
¿Cómo
cama,
quiere,
acostada. Yo estaba acostada.
Ay, ay, ay.
We had an argument.
We had an argument. I'm like, how? I just finished showering. You see me in my PJs. You're going to make me walk the dog. He was like, can you walk the dog? I'm like, yo, but you're standing. Take the dog out. I want you to take the dog out. I'm like, but you serious? And it became a whole back and forth. That que me dijo, look at her collar. Oh, yo me bebí un motete. Like, I started crying. It was a whole thing that I called my mom, like, Ma. But that was the real ring.
That was, what time was that?
2009. That was the third one. That was the third one.
So you was waiting for an official, like,
He
good
gave that-
proposal?
Yeah, because he was never romantic, but I at least expected...
What she wanted, and maybe still wants, I don't know, is like a whole...
No,
like
no,
you
mentira.
see those videos
Flowers,
where
Tampoco, no.
You know
No,
what I'm
there's
saying?
a video.
We gotta do it up,
There's a
baby.
video.
see this.
Okay, there's a video that I'll never forget. She sent me.
Technically, he proposed 4 times.
4 times.
And I was there for 3 of them.
4
But you
times.
know what?
And you knew.
Of course. I'm the best friend.
Esa es la comadre la que está hablando.
Best friend since I was 6 years old with this guy. That's all I gotta say. 3 decades.
Esa es la
So
comadre.
all right. So I was saying, she wants. So there was this guy, right? That he must have paid Disney World to like shut the whole thing down.
But I gotta be realistic.
And he did a
Come
freaking
on.
Broadway show.
No, I showed him like that
just,
was so
just
cool.
to propose to his girl.
No, I showed him that because I was like, damn, that's so cool. Pero I can't be expecting something like that porque yo con ese dinero yo prefiero dar un down payment a una casa.
Eso es así.
Hello. Pero lo mío es, no tiene que ser ni un restaurante romántico ni nada. You could just wake up the kids and look, I got mommy this ring. Let's wake her up. Just waking me up with my kids just being involved, that to me is the world.
Right.
You know, it's nothing. I guess the older I am and the wiser we get, to me, anything you involve my kids with, it just makes everything complete because these are memories that they're going to take along with their relationship.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's why he's very careful with what he does with me. And I'm very careful with what I do with him.
Oh, yes.
Especially in front of our kids. Because we are their example. We are their future.
You know what? I was speaking to somebody the other day, and I was telling them, like, why would you get married if not to be in a committed relationship? Why have kids with a woman that you're not gonna be committed with, that you're not gonna give her that full like attention as a man, because love phases at times. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys have been together over 20 years, right?
We have had our big up and downs.
Yes, me
Absolutely.
too. I've been together with my wife 15, married 6, but love phases at times, and when it phases, as we grow, like you said, you start gaining knowledge. Nowadays, what I start thinking about is, it phased, but I still have responsibilities. I'm responsible for how my daughters look at me and their mother. You know, love goes up and downs. It never really goes anywhere. Like it just phases. When it comes back strong. But you got to realize that you have a responsibility to that person. And if you have kids, to them kids too. Because some people just break up or get divorced and forget about the kids.
See, that's something that we kept. I think this is a promise that we make to each other. That word divorce
it's actually
does not come out of our mouth.
Actually,
me neither.
No matter how hard our discussion can be. And it's funny because it's our discussion, I say it, but we don't argue. My parents till this day, we're going to have 21 years. Y mami y papi me lo han dicho. Yo ni sé ni cuando ustedes discuten. Yo lo veo a ustedes bravos, pero yo ni sé ni cuando ustedes discuten.
Yep.
My son could tell you when was the last time we discussed. He don't even know because we talk normal.
Yeah.
Because I didn't grow up in that household. My parents used to. Mi papá no era fácil.
Man.
Y cuando yo te digo that he would do it bluntly
Yeah.
in front of me and my mom,
Yeah.
he didn't care. So I grew up in that household. So now yo le doy gracias a Dios que me dio la madurez de decir that's not the life I want.
No, y un hombre que entiende y es pacífico y...
well, actually,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yes.
when we first, you know,
Well, yes.
our early stages.
Like I said, yo era
I told
jealous
her-
because that's what I learned seeing my mom do.
Yeah, I told her, listen, you keep up with that, I'm not gonna be with you. Like, I'm not gonna live my life
Cuando
like
lo
that.
va a decir,
You gave her the warnings.
Yeah.
lo va a decir chismosamente, cuando él me amenazó dejarme. Y me dijo,
Los
si
tragos
tú-
tan buenos.
si tú sigues con la misma miércoles, te voy a dejar. I got scared because I love him. I was like, I need to stop my nonsense and I need to get my big girl panties on and stop acting like I'm a stupid little girl. Because every time I argued, I felt like that little girl.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I was like, damn, why am I arguing? He's not really giving me a real reason for
no
me
reason.
to argue. Pero era una costumbre.
'Cause that's what you
That's
saw.
what I saw.
It's like a communication tactic.
And I told her, look at yourself in the
We
mirror.
got that very strong. I'm an only child. Yo soy hija única.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Y por ser hija única, you have nobody to blame. I always
And
say,
nobody to share with.
Exactly.
So everything is yours.
Mami me decía, Liza, ¿por qué no fregaste? Yo no puedo decir, porque fulanita, mi hermana, no, era su turno. I didn't have that privilege.
Wow.
So and then if I was in trouble, and my parents say I don't want to say this.
Don't say
My
it.
son is going to see this, no. Pero pasó algo que con la escuela y yo, tú sabes, y entonces ellos, ¿por qué tú no estabas? Y yo, pero hello. I had to say the truth.
Right.
Who was I going to blame? Porque fulanita, la hermana mía, la que no existe, me dijo que no vaya porque no.
It's you.
So I'm very confrontational. I've learned throughout the years how to be confrontational because there could be many reasons, many ways how you could take confrontation that you either create enemies because you're confrontational and I say the truth and this is how I speak, or confrontational because this is how it should be y así es la manera que yo te voy a hablar porque usted tiene que entender la verdad.
Yeah.
I learned that with him. And I thank God that he taught me to be the woman that I am now. And I am proud of who I have become.
Yeah.
Because of how we learn how to be together as a couple. Trust me, because si yo hubiera estado con un hombre que machista and this and that,
It wouldn't have matched. God
buddy,
knew
I would
what he
have
was
been
doing.
such a different person.
What you call it? I remember back, now that you mentioned that, right? I remember back in the days when I was boyfriend and girlfriends with my wife. I used to be like, yo, I need a break, right? And she used to be like, go sleep it off because you're
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Absolutely. And good for her telling you
Listen,
that.
and
Uno
looking,
tiene que pasar su cosa.
claro, you got to go through your shit so then you could realize in the back end, what you did it for. Everything is worth it. Now we have 2 beautiful girls. You met them, right?
Yes.
They, they're amazing. We do,
Everything
they're
you do is
our
because
world.
of them.
Everything is,
Right.
And then growing up, I had the similar household that you had where the parent dynamic, and I guess it was the times. Back then it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of that information that I gained in that time
didn't
and I
want it
switched
for me.
I didn't want it for me either.
So, but there's a lot of people porque lo ven, mommy and daddy's like that.
And they
continue
become
that
that.
path.
And they think they're right. Because
Okay,
mommy
that's
and
what I
daddy
saw.
thought it was right.
Listen, our parents is our heroes.
So
You know what I mean?
I really checked her with that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I said, look at yourself in the mirror.
He did.
You're-
Él me agarró.
you're your mom.
Me dijo, ve al espejo y mírate. I was like, what?
Nice.
And I was crying. And while I was crying, then I didn't want to cry. Como que I was, and then I'm like, why am I crying? You know what I mean? Pero now bringing it back to discussion, wanting and not wanting, I always have had this special love for Willie. No es con pena, no es con nada. You know when you're in love. I thought I was in love with my first boyfriend, pero those little bubble world when reality kicks in,
It's not realistic.
I'm like, oh, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
And
know,
a lot of frogs have been
I hear
kissed
stories.
and they were not my prince. Pero he, for sure, one thing I'm going to say, we have gone through our lowest low. And I never once even thought about leaving him.
Yeah. And
That's how I knew I was in love with him.
And it's crazy because I've been on my lows too, but you have, in general, you have to hit that floor.
Yo, pero así fue que yo me di cuenta que yo estaba enamorada de él.
You had to hit that floor.
Yo dije, oh my God, but I don't want to leave him.
Yeah, so I hear stories nowadays, right? How people, they just divorce right away or
The pandemic was one
or
of them.
they break up right away. You know, and it's like I tell people examples. You see what you see on Instagram, that beautiful life and all that's fake. Like
Yeah, all of that.
you have to, in a relationship, you gotta work for it.
You have to.
Like that's what makes your relationship stronger when you work for it. Don't just give up and quit. A lot of people nowadays they just give up. And the reason why our love got stronger is because we worked on it and we continue working on it.
You want to laugh? People and men might disagree in this porque es más el hombre que dice, ¿para qué me tengo que casar? ¿Para tener un papelito? I'm going to tell you something.
I don't say that.
It grew way stronger when we got married.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I guess
But you guys had enough time build up before the marriage together,
Exactamente.
yeah.
Pero no sé qué fue. We had, before you get married, you have to take all these courses, like marriage courses.
Right.
And he made us take a test. El Pastor Víctor Tiburcio. And when I tell you, this man he gave us a big paper. Y él dijo, la mata de tu familia, de raíz, pon los divorcios,
Wow.
todas las cosas de tu familia, cada uno hagan eso. You don't realize until you have all these family issues,
Yo.
until you start making your family tree, con quién
Yo.
pegó cuerno, qué sé yo, qué divorcio. Majority of his family were almost divorced.
Yeah.
Yo, but when you put it on paper and you see it, that's when you
Pero
realize
divorce,
that's
pero then
crazy.
kids after kids after kids. My family is short. My family, they all stood together. With infidelity and everything. Y ahí se quedaron, mi tía.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow. And he grabbed all the papers. And he said, vamos a romper esa cadena para que no siga. Cuando ustedes se casen, eso no siga acorralándolo. And then he prayed for us, our generation, second, third, fourth, like our kids, grandkids, to everything. And he even put us in our knees on our wedding day. I was like, oh, my dress. I had to get on my knees. And he prayed for us.
That's amazing.
Our kids. And I was in shock because, I grew up Catholic, but then we became Christians.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then to go through all that,
Right.
we saw it so differently. He explained, the God comes first and he needs to be in your household first. And then is your partner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, es mami papi. Porque mami papi fue lo que me dio en vida. Y después van a ser mis hijos porque soy yo la que lo va a parir. He's like, usted está muy equivocado.
No, yeah.
Los hijos son prestados.
That is true.
So, cuando ellos se vayan a la casa, ¿quién es que te va a dar la medicina? Porque tu mamá y tu papá van a posiblemente estar muertos. ¿Quién es que te va a dar esa medicina cuando tus hijos se te vayan y tu mamá y tu papá no estén ahí?
These
es
kids,
él.
los niños son prestados.
I never, yeah. El deber de nosotros es criarlo un 100% que cuando ellos digan, mami, papi, me voy de la casa, tú puedas cerrar los ojos bien, porque, ay, tengo que lavarle la ropa, ay, déjame llamarlo a ver si comió. No,
That's
es
it.
el deber de nosotros enseñarle a cocinar, lavar su ropa, hacer su cosa. Cuando ellos digan, mami, papi, me voy, usted diga, bueno, adiós. That's it.
You got all the tools you need to go.
That's it. It'll hurt. That's
And
not crazy.
then who stays together? The parents.
Yep.
And you got to take care
That's
of each
why a
other.
lot of relationship, when I see the kids, oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
That's my pills to not have kids.
No.
That's my alarm. Sorry. No, for real. It says drink your pills.
Listen,
Pero no.
drink your pills then.
It's at home. I remember though. Trust me. Pero no. El deber de nosotros is taking care of our kids and then just making sure we
Yeah.
go good.
So in the 20 years together and being over 20 years at this point, because your anniversary is coming up, and congratulations on that.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So in that time frame, kind of like similar time frame of being in the business of bachata, right? And having kids in New York City. I'm gonna tell you something, because I slightly went into the music business and started doing this reggaeton thing, and I exited immediately because it was just too much of a nightlife and this and that. This is before kids or anything, before my wife.
Wow.
And I was in my early 20s. I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing this shit. This shit is too much. Now, being married, you hardly see this, right? A duo, successful bachata group, and having kids and managing all of that at once.
It's hard.
Talk to me, because I know, like I mentioned before in the podcast, there's a lot of things going on in the back end, and right, that nobody sees. And I was just talking about the business. Kids bring a whole different dynamic into that. How's your dynamic with that? How do you guys juggle that? Because, and then it's both of you. It's not just one of you. It's both. Like Liza mentioned, it's both of you exiting the house.
So that, it comes with discussions, to be honest. Like, it's not easy. There's still times where we have little, mini arguments, and because it's not easy.
Sometimes I had told him, I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit the music. You do it by yourself. I'll support you as a wife. I know how the business is. Girls are going to come and go. But in the end of the day, I trust you. Vete. No, you're the soul. ¿Cómo va a ser? Que sin ti, I'm not going to do this. Que sé yo qué. I'm like, you know what? Y que sé yo qué. But that's our happy place. Yo lo digo de pique. But in the end of the day,
That's what makes both of you happy.
That's how we
Yeah,
met.
so-
Music class. Like,
I wake up at 3 a.m. every day to go to work.
for the past how
Jeez.
many years?
16 years almost.
Yeah.
Man.
So, I have that, right? Then
the
we,
kids
at the
and
same
all that.
time, doing business with the music, going home to the kids, to Liza, and I feel bad sometimes because, we need to make some mommy and daddy time, right? But then most of it is music. And
Which is okay. Pero sometimes the thing is like knowing how to balance that.
right.
Me, entonces, I have someone that I'm a makeup artist.
Right.
So I have my own makeup studio. I have my
Okay.
own business.
Okay.
Plus, I also have a side job, part-time job.
Listen.
Then I also have somebody that I do makeup, once a week. Plus, I have my kids. I have the music. I have the rehearsals. I have to clean. I got to feed them.
Do
I make
you
sure he's
guys
right.
sleep?
Sometimes, to be honest, I don't.
Man.
Because I'm stressing of the schedule of tomorrow that I have makeup the next day. I have my 4 or 5 girls, que esto y el otro, que I have this wedding to do, que I gotta do this. But I have my other job to go the other day, que tengo que llevar al niño en la mañana, his breakfast, que to prepare his lunch, que la niña, que esto. He knows. Y hay veces que yo le digo, babe, y hay gente que me dice, how you do it? I'm like, I guess I'm just accustomed. And my adrenaline is actually working and doing all these things. I think if I sit down,
Right.
I would not know what to do.
In
Right.
the midst of all this,
Right.
I even try to squeeze sometimes to work out, because at the same time, we have to be.
Same, but
Listen,
working
you know-
out, como que you zone out. I'm sorry. A lot of people say, I hate it. But me, cardio, si yo estoy corriendo and I listen to the right music, yo hasta me
good.
olvido that I'm even running an hour.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
60 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, y drenched. Pero cuando yo me baño and I feel that pounce on my body, that doom, doom. When you finish that working out, you sit down, your thighs are like burning.
Right.
I'm like, all right, I did it. And I feel good. Like that.
But this
feeling,
week,
yeah.
for example, this week I shut down, like my body, because we also have something,
Right.
that's going on,
Right.
personally, that just added stress to us,
Yeah.
to me especially.
Now our
So
relationships,
monkey wrenches will come.
Yeah, So
We got to realize that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this week I couldn't work out at all. Like my body just shut down, and
Yeah, like I said, he's not a planner. He's about doing these things. Pero with this, he was really on top. And me, of course, as his wife, I gotta chillax. Hay veces que yo no puedo estar jodiéndolo tampoco because that causes more stress. Men sometimes need their their moment, como que cállate, yo no quiero ir nada, llévame estos muchachos de
wanna be
aquí, por
silent.
favor. And he won't say it though.
We
But
won't.
pero yo sé que si yo tengo la situación de él, I know that that's a moment that he's like, quítame tu muchacho.
Was that something you picked up from your father? That silent?
I'm sorry, man, I'm
No.
laughing.
Because
No,
I picked that up
it's-
from my father.
no, it's from my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom holds things inside, and she's not.
I have to take it out of him.
She's
I'm
not
very committed.
confrontational, and I came out like her.
And then I'm confrontational. I'm like, dime, I'm your wife. Y de aquí no me muevo hasta que tú me digas. Y yo me le pongo seria y él,
Opposites
all
attract.
right.
Yeah, I've learned to be confrontational in a sense because my job title I need to be
Right. Okay.
because I manage people. So in that sense, I've learned to confront people, but
Right.
naturally, I got that from
Naturally.
my mom.
Right. You mentioned something key about the gym and working out. Yes, we're young, right? But there's a lot going on, and we need to put time. You see the gym here. I had to build this. This thing took
Yeah.
me like 3 days to build. I put
And
a gym in here.
And I wish I could go. I wish I could go 3 to 4 times a week, and I can't because all the stuff that we do. So
It's the music. It's
the little
jobs,
time
it's
I
the
could go,
kids,
I
yeah.
go.
You know what it sounds like to me? To be honest, me from the outside looking in, it sounds like you guys are so busy that your happy place is the music where you met and fell in love in, right? And with, but it's reconnecting with each other. You guys are so busy that when you finally reconnect with each other,
When we're on
it's
that
like-
stage, we're like
Yeah,
in La La Land.
it's
That's
that-
our little escape. Lo digo desde que yo era chiquita when we started this podcast, and I said it to you. Music has always been my escape. This is where I express my heart, my soul, everything. It's like when I sing, that's why I write as well. It takes me to somewhere completely different.
I have a question for you.
Talk to me.
To both of you. As I heard the album, and it's great, Once Upon a Time, go get it. You guys have the first song that I heard, well, the intro is beautiful because the kids were involved. That's amazing.
Okay,
right?
se meten en el estudio así
Right.
and barge in, so we had to put it.
That's amazing. I don't know. So if you hear the intro of the podcast, there's a kid saying the dad's group chat. That's my daughter at 3, my youngest at 3 years old.
Okay, God
I
bless.
had recorded her, and I'm like, let me use this, and then I
Nice.
used it for this. But that's the intro. But then it goes into the first song where you're expressing the initial love for each other. But then I wanted to talk about this specifically. When artists, you guys write your own music, or you guys have
Yeah, 90%.
90%. So let's say when artists write about perspectives that they're not really living, right? Like, when you're writing about like another person's point of view, somebody got divorced, somebody got cheated on, somebody's getting hands put on them or something like that. And I heard it throughout the album, right? When you know how when actors have like this thing where they get attached to the role
the script.
Yes.
and they can't like disconnect. As an artist, does that happen when you guys tap into those areas?
role. It's for some reason with me, when I hear a specific beat or instrument, and like something instrumental,
Right.
sometimes I even write about something that I'm not even going through.
Right.
It's just this persona you become with your pen.
Is it hard to detach from that person?
Yeah, because it's just for that song.
No, but I
Pero, yeah,
no.
no.
What he's saying is that like
Like as you're creating the persona and you're creating the situation, right? For example, an actor has a script.
Yeah.
And it goes deep, like the Joker or something like
Oh,
movies like that.
yeah,
They go
yeah,
deep
yeah.
into the role.
No, I think on stage you get into character.
Yes.
Okay,
You know, you get into
okay.
character.
That's when you become
of-
like Beyonce say, you're Sasha Fierce. Like you become
Yeah.
that person.
But in
Yeah.
real life, nah, I don't.
You could disconnect immediately.
Absolutely. It's just
Okay.
an act.
It's just
yeah.
it's just an artistry. Like it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you know, you
Like
just,
who I am home, I'm not that person on stage.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Because I wanted to ask that because in the album I heard you guys go deep into something that obviously you guys are not properly living.
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's what people have been going through, and then we write it, but we add it a little bit extra to make it more dramatic. The reason
Right.
why it's Once Upon a Time is because we're telling a story.
Right.
Cada vez que nosotros cantamos en la tarima, every time we sing on stage, we always, and before we sing a song, we say why we wrote it.
Oh, nice.
And people connect it.
It's
So that's why
reality. That's what I'm
sometimes ellos se
saying.
quedan
Yeah.
así escuchándolo.
Yeah, so
And-
we like to
yeah.
sing music that, could relate to couples out there.
Now we get a lot of
And no
DMs.
matter what form,
Yeah.
positive, negative,
Yeah.
but people go through it. It's a reality.
Right. Right. Okay.
Even with the kids, like I have a song that,
Que ganas.
that the
Yeah.
little girl's suffering because the parents don't pay attention to her. That's a reality that we live.
Yeah.
But are you tapping into your childhood at that moment,
Well,
or somebody that you've seen go through that as a child?
Yeah.
Well, I have to admit that I did base it on
On something.
somewhat of a true story.
Okay.
So not the actual thing of that song, but
Right.
something similar to that.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the kids, right?
Ah.
And how kids change our lives, right?
Yeah.
And how they do things sometimes that surprise you, right?
I'm saying things in my head right now.
You guys met my daughters. As Jen mentioned, the youngest one is a little bit spicy, a little bit her approach. She's very
Very outgoing.
Very outgoing, right? My oldest is not. It's like night and day.
She's
right?
more conservative.
Yo creo que los primeros son como son por la ñoñería que nosotros le damos. 'Cause
That's the
they're
thing.
they're
Yeah.
first. Yeah,
you get
It's
to
like
sleep
you
with
choose
us.
who carries them.
Sí.
Your parents can't say anything, even though you know that they raised you right because you're still
Damn.
alive. But yet, don't touch my kids kind of situation. And then the second one's like, yeah, you live. Y tú se
Listen.
and that's why they're so independent.
Go sleep in your own room.
El primero, no. Are they breathing? They good?
Damn, that's true, yo.
So
Because of
I
the
think
experience.
es eso, la experiencia that we gain. Then the third one, you're like, que va a dormir, que duerman de la tía, que se vaya, no importa. Que está enfermo, la fiebre, ¿cómo va? Tíralo en agua fría. You're like, you know what I
Damn.
mean? That's the difference. That when you're first, you're here running everywhere and doing so much, and your baby bag is like 5,000 pounds because you got to bring the extra clothes. Que este y el otro. Your second one, you don't even do that.
And are you guys still paying for that right now?
Paying for what?
Because I'm still paying for that treatment.
Let me-
like the extra treatment for the first one, and then the second one, you're kind
You
of
know
like let her be
what?
on her own.
I have mature conversations with my son, and he's our first.
Okay.
And I have mature conversations. I don't Google Gaga if I got a curse to make the conversation to a point.
Yeah.
I am. He's gonna do it with his boys in school. I'm his mom.
Yeah.
Talk to me. I want to know who you are. I do not like que él sea one thing at home and in school he's him. Be you, but I'm not your best friend.
Nope.
Don't get that twisted. I'm
Get
not your
that.
bruh. I'm your mom.
Bruh.
Don't
Yeah.
come to me con esa. Que eso, para mí, es un día se le zafó. Y yo le di that death stare. He was like, my bad, my bad, my bad. I'm like, dilo bien. Say my bad. Porque así no se me habla en mi casa. And it's just, he got that. You know what I mean? And, so.
Any hidden talents with your kids?
Yeah. Our daughter sings.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be a
My
singer.
daughter sings. And she does
okay.
those vibrettos and she sings.
She's
And my son, believe it or not, he loves acting. He loves editing. He's, The Ring.
Yeah.
And he loves acting. He loves singing. But this acting, that he does acting classes in his school.
Nice.
And he didn't tell us that he was going to sing. And he actually surprised us this time. Y yo me quedé así. And he smiled because he knew he was going to get us. He
Nice.
got us.
yeah.
Nice.
He's very talented.
He could act. He's singing apparently. He could edit videos.
Nice.
So he's a very talented.
And all
kid.
this is learned on his own.
Yeah.
YouTube University, because that's what I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's how I learned how to really cook. Porque yo me defendía. Pero YouTube taught me how to really do my...
Listen.
And our daughter could retain like she sings things sometimes. I'm like, how is she singing this song? Like from the 80s and stuff.
Wow.
And I'm like, where does she hear this? Yeah. And then you hear her singing.
My allergies are on a million.
It's okay. It's okay. Listen, the other day I was dying. It's all good. I'm glad I'm alive. Yeah. But, the kids, they bring another side of you, because you guys mentioned that when you guys were first married, it was like your best time, that you guys were both being promoted in your job and you guys are like striving, and it was like no kids. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure that when the kids came, stress came. But, that extra level of like love and parenting came out. But it's a learning curve. Like you said, first child, you give him everything. Second child, you're on your own.
At first child, I took it hard. He took it nonchalant.
Okay.
Okay. He was like, he never was, I think because he was so young and como que he was in disbelief world for some reason. He never was the one that woke up and helped me in the middle of the night. He never really, porque se levantaba a las 3 de la mañana.
Is that why you say you took it hard?
I took it hard because I went through a very hard postpartum. And then, pero it was a really bad postpartum. It was not healthy. Okay. And then it even got worse when the baby was a month and a half, and he's like, hey, so they have a job interview so we can move out of state. And I was like, oh, you better not do that. He's like, oh, but this is an opportunity, so you don't have to work and you take care of the baby. I was like, He still did it. And he said, guess what? The next day, he was like, I got the job.
We have to move in 2 weeks.
We got to move in 2 weeks.
To Philly.
Wait, so you guys actually moved to Philly?
Yeah. Well, we...
Yeah, we did.
So within those 2 weeks, we had to house hunt. And they told me you can't take PTOs.
Wait. Let's backtrack.
This is Willie not thinking. This is what I said before. Él nada más piensa en el momento.
Okay.
Hazme caso, por favor. Yo
He
soy
executes
planeadora.
within the moment.
Exactamente.
So,
y por eso hay cosas que
check
yo
this
no
out.
quiero coquear.
This was my way of thinking, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't want to pay for a babysitter.
Right.
Because I didn't trust anybody.
Hay un mosquito aquí,
Right.
coño.
I said, you know what? Where can we live where I could afford to pay everything on my own? Obviously not in New York.
This shit is expensive here, man.
So there was a building opening from the company I work for in Philly.
Right.
So I'm like, the cost of living out there is cheaper. So
I was not going to be a city
I was
mom.
like, one day I interviewed for the position. And mind you, they had interviewed like 5 people already.
But that same day, they told him he got hired.
And when I interviewed, they're like, you know what? You're the guy for the job. you got to move in 2 weeks.
Man.
And you can't take PTO. It has to be in your days off. I'm like, really?
What?
So we went to Philly.
This is right after the baby was born?
Yep. 2 months.
A month and a half.
Oh, my God.
He turned 2 months, Cassie. Yeah.
He was a month and a half.
So that 2 weeks that we had to, he said, oh, we got to move. That's when he turned 2 months.
Oh, my God.
So we went to Philly to look for apartments and stuff. And we weren't really feeling it. We went to Jersey, right across the bridge.
Right there, yeah.
And since she does makeup, we chose a spot that was in between 2 malls.
Okay.
Yo
Makes
dije,
sense.
just in case we don't know the turnaround, look at me always thinking in the future, let's move near a mall, because I used to manage Mac. And with that experience, they might hire me right away. So that's why I told him I don't want to go to Philly because I don't want to be a city mom. This is my first child. Remember, lo tratamos con ñoñería primero.
That is
Por
true.
eso son como son.
That is true.
Entonces he was like, all right. So at least he did that. Pero my first month was not it. I've been working since I was 12. Now I'm here in 4 walls with a baby, waking up every hour by myself because he used to leave at 4 in the morning.
A 24-hour job.
Con Y tú sabes que tú vives en Nueva York, lock, pa, 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 pa. These are the locks that you do con el candado.
Yep.
Allá era uno. And the sliding door with the glass. Y yo decía, ay, si me tiran una piedra, me
That's
llevan.
it.
Me matan. Y entonces, the way que tiraban el buzón en la puerta, era así. Yo decía, si meten la mano, abren, me van a llevar. Yo dije, ya, aquí yo me muero. Él me
Yo,
trajo para que me maten.
On
That's all I
top of
thought
that,
about.
on top of that, we were watching Forensic Files.
That's even worse.
Oh my God, bro.
It was making
You
everything.
guys-
And you know, with a newborn baby and waking up every hour without his help and within four walls, not working, not talking to anybody. I didn't want to be friends with nobody because I was like, I don't know what she
nobody.
does
Yeah,
exactly
you
or
don't
whatever. And I
You're
used
from
to
New
walk
York.
the
Why are
baby.
we closed off like that? Being from New York.
Yeah.
What's the whole
Listen,
conversation?
that's just our mentality.
Yeah.
That's just the way we work. But for some reason, he was trying to make me happy. Like, you know, he'll take me shopping one day here, whatever. But it was just not working.
How long y'all lasted in Philly?
We were there for 4 years.
And wait,
In Jersey.
in
4 years.
Jersey. But okay, this is wild bachata still happening. gigs
No.
still
Mind you, no,
happening.
we left the music.
Talk to me about that. Why you left? You left the music
In
before the baby was
2007.
born.
Yeah, 2007. That's when we became our lives. That's why we lived. We kept getting promoted because we had the time. We
So you wasn't doing music.
We
It was a
left
gap.
music in 07. We got back to music.
In 2013,
No,
14.
October of 2014
Okay,
when we got back.
full fledged.
And we were still living in Jersey.
Okay,
So
And-
interviews and stuff like this, we would drive from Jersey to New York with the baby.
And because of the music, we ended up back in New York. But not for a good reason, for a bad reason.
care to share?
Yeah, we can. It's an experience
we
that a
were-
lot of artists they go through it.
We went bankrupt.
Talk to me.
We invested everything we had because we believe in ourselves. We went
mean-
bankrupt. It was bad. That que mami en una se dio cuenta, ¿qué es lo que está pasando? Que yo estoy viniendo aquí y lo estoy viendo ustedes muy callados. La nevera como que, tú sabes que a los viejos les gusta estar chequeando. ¿no?
Oh yeah, they check everything.
Mira, amore, and when I tell you, she noticed and we had to come clean. She's like, ustedes, yo lo quiero el mes que viene viviendo en mi casa. But it was in my old room. We had to get a bunk bed.
Wow.
Our son sleep and stuff. We had to recuperate everything to move in good again. It took us 3 years to
Wow.
pay debt, to do a lot.
Was it an investment in the group that you made, or was it like?
We believed a lot. People promised us a lot, and some people that promised us, required money, and
We
we
were
got stolen from.
Okay.
And a lot
Engañado.
of things happened. A lot
Okay.
of things. And
Yeah.
It's lesson learned. But the thing is that, you know what's funny? We never had a big argument in regards to us because we missed that money. It was more how we're gonna make it out from here. How we're gonna keep our son happy. And I'm glad he went through it all with us.
He got to
He
live
still
with
remembers.
you. Oh, wow.
And he was 4. And he still remembers. And he remember all the struggle. And I love it. I love it. Porque a los niños tú no los puedes poner en un bubble. Porque cuando ellos pisan en ese mundo, entonces van a decir, like, what?
Oh man.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you,
so-
I love that he knows
So he
all
actually,
that, yeah.
he's been through it all with us. And
Yeah.
even we recorded songs with him in the studio.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Like
Él
he,
sabía cuando quedarse calladito.
he was that
yeah.
kid that understood, okay, they're recording. I'm going to be quiet.
Yeah.
Our daughter, no, negative. She
Totally different
Esa no la
experience.
traemos.
That's
No,
number
no,
2.
no, no.
different.
Pero let me tell you, when sometimes we will go to new studios, and they'll be like, oh, like they'll see our son, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
cuando al final, cuando terminamos de grabar 2-3 hours, they'll be like, yo, but you good? He's like, yeah. He said, Matt cool, like,
Yeah.
But he behaved amazing. It was such a different world. He was awesome.
I
He
want
is.
to dive into a little bit more of, the struggles, right? Because when you believe in yourself and you invest in yourself and you pour into that, you're never really going to lose. If you lose, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. You're going to learn
And to
something.
me, it's also giving up. In the end of the day,
Right.
there has been moments, of course, that we have thought about it because we have kids. We're like, damn, this money could have gone to this or this could have gone to this. But then at
Right.
the same time, in the music, you have to invest in yourself.
You
We
have
can't
to.
wait to let's wait till we get an investor so we could do a next video. Eso no es así.
So now I see.
I would be lying if I would tell you that there's not a day that I don't think like I'm sorry, that I actually think I want to quit.
Mm-hmm.
I
Because
think every
I think about that
musician
every
says
single
that.
day. But
No,
I just have faith,
Listen, your music speaks for itself. It's great. It's good music.
Thank
It's a variety. When I heard it, I told you in the beginning, I thought I was stepping into a bachata only album, but like I said, the soul of it is bachata, but there's different elements in there, and it's kind of like you guys are not only giving like people the general bachata, which is great, but you guys are giving them a peek of what you can do, and that's the beautiful thing. So yeah, invest in yourself. You're doing the right thing by investing in yourself, and at the end it'll pay off. Trust it. Trust the process because nothing is easy. God, like I said before in this podcast, you tell God what you want, He'll give you the challenges that you have to face, and you got to face each and every one of those challenges, and then in the end you'll look at the results. That's what it is. Now your kids, believe it or not, I'm seeing a lot of talent there. Like you said that your daughter reaches notes that you probably
Yeah,
couldn't
I'm
even
like,
imagine her
girl.
reaching, and that's you.
When I warm up, she warms up with me.
There you go.
Yeah.
And kids pick up on things that their parents are doing. And we also spoke about the importance of respecting the partner, respecting the responsibility that you have to your relationship, to your marriage, to your kids. Like I mentioned, love fades sometimes, but when, responsibility is still present, you got to be there. You can't just step out of that. And, we also touched on the relationships today that probably don't last. That's why when I look at you guys coming from high school, right? Falling in love in high school, still being together, 20 years in the music business. When you look back, tell me, what do you see? There's a lot of achievements there. You guys have knocked down every single wall. Pat yourself in the back and continue going. Continue moving forward.
Amen.
Yeah.
Esas son cosas que, we have some, like I said, we have deep talks with my son. And I tell him sometimes if you feel like I'm failing or daddy's failing, I want you to tell me. I don't care if you make me feel bad. It's not about feelings right here. I just want to make you happy and I want to make sure you're happy. It's like, all right, ma. Yo le hablo, there's moments that I feel like our life takes so much that there's times that I make sure that everybody's asleep, that he's asleep, the kids are asleep. But then I wake him up. I'm like, you want to go and watch a movie? We grab snacks, quedamos. Entonces, de que we're going to watch TV and it's just us having these deep talks.
It's a date night.
Like, I wish my parents would, wake me up from a nap so we could break night and just eat snacks to talk
That's
about
amazing.
life.
That's amazing.
My son loves that. And I do dates with him too.
That's amazing.
Porque son cosas que I want him to see and respect the woman and see, y también for him to do with his future kids, my grandkids.
Of course.
Y uno tiene que criar bien, tú sabes.
Of course. I was speaking to my wife about this the other day. There's a lot of things that when we say like, oh, I want to give my kids everything that I didn't have, but I also, it's not even that. I want to teach my daughters what I learned late. I want them to learn it early.
It's just to be ready for the
It's-
world,
it's-
man.
they gotta
Especially
be ready.
now.
They got to be ready.
Nuestra edad
Nowadays.
son diferentes décadas. Son par de décadas que somos más viejos que ellos.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
entonces the generation's not the same how when we got raised. I was telling him today, I was like, we respected our teachers and won't even dare talk back to our
shit.
teachers
You're right.
more than our own parents. Now, the way we still hang out with one of our teachers, believe it or not, our music
Wow.
teacher, the reason why we got
Wow.
together.
Yeah.
We still hang out with him. And he's like, thank God I quit now. Because the way that they were disrespecting me, he was like, you guys were my favorite ones. And that's why you guys are still in my life. Wow. Our music teacher.
We actually
Yeah. We went to his wedding
we're
too.
gonna get him tickets to our next show.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I hear that you guys have a concert
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're gonna perform at Joe's Pub is out in Soho.
Nice.
It's called Joe's Pub, but it's actually a theater, and it's iconic actually. Adele performed there, Amy Winehouse.
Nice.
They've had several artists there, and we're gonna be the first bachateros there.
Beautiful.
So that's gonna be we're very excited about that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So if you guys have a
Take
chance.
your wife, date night out there.
Go into we're gonna be posting up, the links so you could purchase the tickets and stuff. Check it out.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be performing new stuff,
Beautiful.
never before heard from us.
Nice.
Bueno, Dios
Yeah,
sabe lo que tiene en
It'll be,
camino.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we look forward to that. I want to talk a little bit about support, right? Family support, friend support. Do you guys feel like you guys get enough support from the people that you generally grew up with or loved?
So I think with me, in my family and friends, there's a lot of them that support, and I thank them. I love them to death. You know who you are, but there are a lot that don't, and it's kind of like a thing. I've noticed that, if when you know somebody or you're related to somebody, they tell you, "Hey, I sing or I do this," but you kind of don't pay attention because they're like your cousin or something. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he sings, but
Yeah.
Mencióname
Okay.
una canción de la mía. Digo, no.
yeah, like I feel like they really brush it off, but they don't really pay attention to the art and
Right.
to what we're doing, and that kind of annoys me a little bit. But then I really can't blame them.
Everybody's
that-
attention span is not the same.
Right, and that's how I feel about it. But I do have people that do support me, and I thank them for that.
Yeah. What about you, Liza?
I'm a different story. We had a big concert last year.
Okay.
I told Willie about this, United Palace. Not one of my cousins, uncles. I had no family member. And the only one that comes is one cousin of mine. Pero él es compadre mío. Me and him are like this.
Okay.
Y una prima mía que vivía aquí, pero she don't come. Pero I have no family member. Only him that goes.
Goes to the shows.
One out
Okay.
of hundreds of family that we have. I only
Right.
have one that goes en lo que él puede because he has a lot of things going on in his life.
Right.
And that mind boggles me because she's like so talented,
Yeah.
and it's just it's weird to me.
Let's go to the
It's-
deeper root of that.
Yeah.
Why does it mind boggle you?
Cause I see Liza as how you would see Beyonce, right? That's how I see her, and I always talk to her. I always tell her that she's a person of many talents. Not only can she sing, but she's a great makeup artist. She's a great designer, interior designer for homes. She has a creative mind. She's a great artist. She's even a greater human being. So that's how I see Liza. And for people not to acknowledge that, especially her blood,
In her family, right?
it's tough.
It hurts. My mom, she's very Christian, and my father as well. So they told
Okay.
me the only way I'm gonna support you is taking care of the kids.
Okay.
We're not gonna go to any of your stuff.
I mean, and
You know,
that
and
is
that
support.
hurts. Because I told her once, I'm like, oh, if we ever get a Grammy, will you ever go with me? And she said, no, I'm not. God is what comes first, y eso son cosas del mundo.
Wow. Okay.
Throughout the years, I came understanding, and I respect that. Me dijo, la manera yo te voy a apoyar es cuidándote a los niños. That's enough for me. But it hurts. Yo tengo un primo solamente que me tira mucho. Tengo dos. Jonathan, that I love dearly. He's my compadre as well. Él es
Right.
padrino de la chiquitica. Y yo soy madrina de la chiquitica de él.
Right.
Pero tengo otro primo that he's like, oh, que le vaya bien, Francis. Que le vaya bien, tú sabes, yo no puedo, because, whatever. Pero he at least me escribe. Que,
Right.
how did it go, whatever. But that's it. I have my own makeup studio. Family members that I see, they go to parties, they go this and that, and they prefer doing their makeup with somebody else and not me. And I'm not going to charge them. Y si es por precio, I'm not, de que le voy a cobrar lo mismo. They're my family.
Right.
Pero no, eso es así, more.
The reason I ask is because, a lot of times family and close friends, they don't share your same vision, right? And that's okay. I get your sentiment on it where it mind boggles you, because that used to mind boggle me too. But I've come to realize that, do I really need you to do everything I think you need to do
Yeah.
in order for me to receive the support?
I've learned that.
No, honestly, I don't. I need my inner circle, my wife, my kids, my inner circle to kind of like be with me. But do I need outside focus on me? No, because God is keeping it that way because it may be a distraction
También.
for what I'm trying to do. Your parents telling you that the way that they could support you is by taking care of your kids. That's enough support
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
And that's love too, because they're going along with you in your journey and they're taking away certain responsibilities while you continue your journey.
Exactamente.
Right.
Ellos saben porque somos nosotros dos que
You know
nos
what's
vamos,
funny
¿verdad?
that she said,
And it's both of you guys leaving the house. Yeah.
She says that her mom said that she would never attend a Grammy if we ever get there.
Right.
I strongly believe that she will.
Nah.
Willie, you got to
No,
bring
my mom.
3 roses this time.
No, my mom, no. She's a very, very big in faith when it comes to God.
I think for something, I don't know. I just have a
She will
belief that
probably
she would.
will
I
go
think
to
she
a
would.
hotel when they get me ready and stuff, but to be my date that I'm going to take next to me, no. She won't do that. No. Oh my God, I can't see it. I think I won't be able to walk down of how my joy. I think I'll have a heart attack right there, knowing that because, no, I just don't. God could work in many ways. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
And let me stop being negative because that's not my aura.
Right.
But
Positivity.
yeah, exactly. Amen
Positivity.
to that. Pero no, uno nunca sabe la cosa de la vida.
Yeah.
Pero like I have my comadre, I have Willie's, one of Willie's niece, que ella me quiere mucho también. I have, people like Lisa and stuff that I could count with my 2 hands the people that I know that would be there for me.
Right.
So
But,
I'm happy about that.
That you know what? I'm pretty sure that
That's
brings
what-
you enough happiness. More than happiness. Because that's all you need.
Mira, manito, cuando estábamos en United Palace, yo era lo que estaba, yo lo veía llorando ahí, lo veía de todo. Yo dije, wow.
And that made your day that day.
Oh my God. The last word to the song that I was singing of Ana Gabriel, I couldn't, no me salía. Y él me dijo, you got this, baby. Como que eso se me metió como un courage. And then I said the last word I had to say of the song.
Right.
Pero I was too excited.
You
It was
know,
awesome.
God put certain people in your life to be there and push you along just enough
Yeah.
so you can make your dreams happen.
Amen
Same
to
thing, vice versa. You're
Uno
in
lo va
someone else's
aprendiendo,
life.
uno lo va
Yeah.
aprendiendo.
And that's the thing. We learn as we go.
Yeah.
And then we look back and we're like, you know what? Maybe I overreacted in that sense, or maybe I was overthinking that situation. You did support me enough.
Él se puso un
You
día,
know?
se le metió lo que se le mete a Don Willie. Que he
Don
wrote
Willie.
a post. Oh, they're so sad that you guys could go to people's concert and pay $500, but not to support us that we're family. You won't do that. His DMs and his stuff of his family writing back to him.
Crazy.
I was like,
Well, you
tú se
know,
la tiraste en directo y ellos como que se sintieron mal. He
No, I
basically-
said, so you know how...
Willie's like me.
And I'll say it like...
He said it. You see, that's when Willie becomes confrontational, it's
Willie's
because
like
it's
me.
bothering him.
Yeah.
No, like for example, Aventura right now is doing a big tour, right?
Yep.
And people paying a lot of money to see them.
Insane.
And there was a point where they will be performing in festivals in the Bronx and Manhattan for free. People were there, but they didn't realize that these people were gonna be big.
Yeah.
So I gave that example. Like, hey, don't only support when something is big,
Right.
So
Start supporting it at the
that was
entry.
my gist of all
Well,
that.
listen, guys. I'm gonna leave you guys with this because family will be the first to love on you and the first to secretly hate on you and your success because the nerve, right? But them strangers, they support you forever.
Yeah. And that's the crazy part.
That's
Para que tú
funny.
veas.
Them strangers, they support you forever.
That's
There's some
funny.
of our parties that they were like, oh, estábamos esperando que tú bajaras la tarima porque queremos darle un abrazo y un beso a su esposo y a usted, que lo admiramos, lo seguimos en Instagram, and they show us, and we just don't believe it. We're like, really?
Yeah.
And it's such an amazing feeling.
It humbles you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
It humbles you.
Mira, manito.
So, do you feel like when people unfollow you, you're not friends with them anymore?
I don't know. I don't give a shit.
No?
Nah, I mean,
See,
honestly,
that means our content was not hitting you. We're not connecting.
I'm not talking
So
about
deuces.
people in general. I'm not talking about the strangers. I'm talking about the family.
family.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you think. But
Has it been real?
you know,
Or fake all this time?
we actually when we first started doing all this, like on social media, I think we had an app.
Am I going in, Jen?
We had an app of
we had
our
an app
followers
that-
and followers because we were curious.
Oh, you know,
Okay.
we gotta make sure we peep
now
the
that
landscape.
we have 15K, you can't tell. But when you have less than 10, cuando los numeritos bajan, tú dices, pero ¿qué es lo que está pasando? And we strategize. We're like, espérate, is our content not going? What we gotta do? You know what I mean? And dijo, let's download an app que te deja saber who follows and who unfollows.
I'm petty like that too.
Ahí fue que vimos el cuco. Yo dije, why we did this? We
But,
realized a lot, yeah.
But there's one thing about us is that we take constructive criticism very well.
Yes.
And still to this day, like people, you know, the other day, like last week, we had this big time producer that hit us up. We had collab with him in the past, and he wants to do something else with us again, which is awesome. He told us, "Hey, I think you guys should change the way you guys post. You know, you're doing this wrong. You do." So we took that. We're like, you know what?
While he was telling us, I was archiving and
Yeah.
deleting stuff. While he was talking to us.
So we immediately started changing it.
Eso es así. Because I was like, let me see what he's saying. And I was like, yeah, this look a little sloppy. Y ya yo estaba, while he's telling us, ya yo estaba haciendo eso.
So even like with our music, people tell us, "Hey, you know, you should do this, this, and that." Or you
We
sound,
love it, bad or good.
You sound
good, we'll continue. Bad, all right,
Yeah.
how can we fix it?
You gotta
You
learn
sound
from
bad
it,
here.
adjust,
It
and move
this
forward.
business is
Exactly.
not about feelings. I'm not gonna go
That's
on the
the
corner and
truth.
start crying and waste my time. We've been working so hard because you told me something that I felt very sensitive about. I'm sorry, I don't have that time. We too grown. We got 2 mouths to feed when we go back home.
That's the thing.
Right.
To me, it's like
You know, we're
Yeah,
not
you
doing
know?
this to like play around. We're taking
antes
it
when we were
serious.
like in our early 20s, we were like, yo, you imagine having this house. Now it's like, all right, business wise, how we can make triple or quadruple this? How can we do this? How can this be better? As an artist, you gotta identify yourself as an artist. You can't look, sound, or anything like nobody else. That's why
true.
you put the radio station. You know exactly who that artist is. I can't sound like J-Lo or I can't sound like Beyonce because what's the point? They're already there. I'm here.
Right.
What am I doing then?
Right.
So as a duet, what do we have to bring on the table?
Right.
Really, what do we have to bring on the table? So how are we gonna make this generation, and then the elderly to like us?
Right.
That's a
Our
challenge.
fashion,
adjust.
our music, our content, the way we are, our love story, family, it has to connect with everything.
And all of that is expressed in the album, to be honest. Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Once
It's
upon a
telling
time.
a story. When you open a book, once upon a time, there was this couple. Da-da-da. That's why it starts the lovey-dovey, because that's
Yep,
how we
yep.
started. And then it comes with the stories of things that didn't happen to us.
Yes.
But then there's one song that it says exists since 2003. That's how we used to communicate. You remember those days? When you couldn't talk, you have to wait after 9 o'clock because it was free.
I heard that song where you said the minutes are free after 9. or something.
And you can't send no text message because that's definitely
That's
10
the-
cents. And that
And then
bill
we
is
logged
not
in.
going to be cute.
We logged in AOL.
That's
Yeah,
so
that
bad.
aim was the ish.
Hey, man, for all you new listeners, the babies, right? If you don't know what AOL is, if you don't know what paying for minutes before 9,
Beepers.
Google it.
Because the
The
minutes
beepers.
will roll, and that will hurt me. Because we had to wait then the next month
Man.
for you to have
Lisa
those
Page.
minutes. Yeah.
I got a question for both of you because as I'm hearing your story and as I'm hearing your ups and downs, and thank you for sharing it, by the way, you know, it's been a great conversation so far. Do you guys believe, because it sounds like, okay, you met in high school, you fell in love, music came, you had a period where things were super great right after marriage, and then the kids came, and then bachata, all this stuff happened, moving to Jersey, coming back. Do you guys believe, because like I said, you don't see this off a lot of times, like, you know, high school sweethearts making it. do you guys believe you guys gave each other enough time to grow while you were growing individually?
That's a good question.
I
Because it sounds like life was just hitting you.
Yeah.
With responsibilities and things to do.
But that's what makes
do you
us
guys
who we
feel
are.
like but do you guys feel like you grew individually as you was growing together? Because that part right
we
there
gave
is why
ourselves-
people don't make it.
I feel like we gave each other that space where we could identify ourselves.
You mean personally or
Anything like, because okay, high school sweethearts don't typically make it. That's the fact, right? But when you don't see it happen, it's because people grew in different paths, or I didn't let you grow, or you didn't let me grow into the person that I am today. How do you guys navigate that?
I guess because we had the same passion, which was music. I guess
Music brought you guys together.
That's what I always say.
Okay.
I always say that.
yes?
I think, and then accepting each other's mañas, each other's everything. We have more than half of our lives together.
Yeah.
It's like, what more?
You know, when-
in our
when-
bodies don't even know that we got.
It's like stuff that we do outside of music has definitely matured us,
That's the key.
and we've gained a lot of experience. You know, with our jobs, kids, dealing with people.
It's kind of like you have to grow up.
Yeah, like
phase, yeah.
you know, as you get older, and I'm pretty sure you've experienced this. Your circle just gets smaller and smaller.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So you go through things in life and you learn. And you know, when you add all the other elements, it just widens your mind. And then you know how to handle certain things. So I think we have a great chemistry where, you know, when we doing music or when we're at home with the kids, when we go out, like we kind of rely on each other in a sense.
Right.
And we know what her strong suit is, what mine is, what her weak thing is, and mine, and we kind of balance ourselves out.
Yeah.
It's just también, we're so honest with each other. That a lot of relationships, when que un hombre le diga a su esposa, babe, you're getting fat, it becomes a whole thing. To us, it's like, él me dice, baby, te está engordando un chin. Yo digo, damn, man, I gotta work out. Sí, baby, ponte, tú sabes. I don't get offended at all. He's actually looking out for me. And these girls, you see all these memes and all this stuff. Si él me dice que estoy gorda, tú vas a ver. Dude, he's looking out for you. Apláudelo y dile que por lo menos te está diciendo la verdad. En vez de que you getting here, bigger and bigger, y no puede decir nada porque te va a ofender.
I mean, there is no nice way to say that.
There is. It's by you saying, mi amor. No, claro que sí. La cosa es diciéndole con amor, mi amor.
He's like, my wife is here. Hold up.
No, espérate.
How can I
Vamos a
say
enfriar
this?
un
Él me lo ha
ching.
dicho a mí,
Vamos a
baby.
enfriarnos un ching.
No, él me lo ha dicho a mí, baby. Te está... Cógelo suave, que tú sabes. And I'm like...
Baby,
and
you
I
look
see that, and I'm
rotund.
like, yo, he right. Like, you know?
I think it's the way I say it, maybe.
No. I think we're very
I'm
honest.
not-
Porque
I'm
I'm very
not-
honest with him. There's certain songs, because he sings very mellow, que yo le digo, baby, si lo hace, eso va a ser... Tú vas a pasar vergüenza. Hasta a veces cuando él me busca ropa, Jenny's my witness. Que one day he was trying to look for clothes. And I'm like, si te pone eso, va a pasar vergüenza. No te
Wait,
ponga
wait.
eso. And he's like, wait, but what? Doesn't it look good? I'm like, nah.
What, the white shoes and shit like
No,
that?
don't do it.
Because I have a story to share. But dejemos
No,
ahí.
ese quería poner unos pantalones blancos los otros días,
Ey.
una vaina. Yo dije, espérese, así no. And he was like, all right, cool. It's nothing de que se nos ofende. We just looking out for it. I see, I guess because the way that we've always taken
I
our
mean,
relationship
it's
so
20
honest.
years plus, so it has to be some
I think
strong
it's that. And when we
conversations.
were friends, we were always so honest too. It's like, I think it just built up from there. I don't know. I think it's that, babe. I mean, it doesn't hurt me.
You know,
No, cuando se trata de muchas cosas, we are honest with each other. El otro día nos llamamos y we like, oh, de eso mismo.
Yeah.
No, y yo le digo, mi amor, esto y el otro. Y dije, ok, pues ahorita resolvemos yo así, entonces, ok. Y así, Juan, y Juan. Y ahí quedamos. Ya. Con eso el que entendió ya sabe lo que yo dije.
Tú entendiste, deja tu vaina.
Ya tú sabes. Y Juan, y resolvido.
Any upcoming projects aside from the concert that you guys are about to have coming up July 6th, right?
Right.
So aside from that, any upcoming projects that you could share with your fans
We're gonna work with
that you
Can we
can
say
share?
Exactly.
yeah, I'm gonna throw a hint. We are working with a very talented producer, very known in the bachata world.
Y ya. He dicho, caso cerrado.
And
Ya, Willie, esa fue la seña, Willie.
Yeah.
Exactly. Es que Willie got a little carried away, you know what I
we
mean?
do have songs on our end that we're working on.
To release.
Collaborations with other artists as well.
Nice.
Writing wise. We do have a lot of stuff in the mix coming up.
We
but
just take our time because we like it to come out right. It's like we work so hard just to release and release and release. I feel like artists need to take their time to show their artistry and who they are and identify themselves as an artist. Está sacando canciones de que cada mes.
Yeah.
Yo siento como que la persona no...
You burn out.
No, you don't grasp into that artist. Cuando tú vas a escuchar una canción de ese artista que saca canciones cada mes, tú no puedes decir una canción, miércoles, esa es la mía, esa canción es la mía, porque está sacando canciones cada rato.
Yeah.
¿Tú me entiendes? En vez de sacar canciones adecuadamente y bien trabajar, bien, make sure that you have that marketing and that stuff right for you to connect y tú lo vas a cantar así and then that person's going to connect and it's just going to gravitate differently.
It's quality over quantity.
Ya lo supe.
Yeah, at the moment we're having fun. You know, we're performing. The band is happy. Like we have a great chemistry on stage. And we keep getting better and better. So we're getting calls. You know, we're taking it.
Nice.
So we're performing.
Which is amazing porque típico is what has been taken over
Oh yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
So for us to be getting calls from New York to perform bachata at their venues, trust me, we're very happy. We were surprised with Joe's Pub itself. Bachata in Soho. It's like,
They're opening up to
they
it
were
now.
like, okay, cool. Yeah. And then another spot too, we're doing Lincoln Center too,
Beautiful.
as well,
in the fall. Yeah.
in the fall.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So it's like for us also that we perform in Washington, D.C., in places like that you would never think that you would listen to bachata, que not even Aventura ni Romeo has played. I'm not saying that it's like these big, crazy places, but if it hasn't happened, it's because the potential and people that are believing and seeing the talent, they're just, you know, and that's what opens
Right.
our eyes and it just makes us work even harder.
Now, we all know bachata originated in Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a community of bachata artists in New York that connect with each other?
So we're actually, you know, we've been part of, for example, Bachateria, where our friends at LMP, Smurf, shout out to Smurf, you know, he's gathered independent artists as ourselves, you know, underground artists. And for example, last year they did a concert in United Palace.
Yes.
We performed there. They're doing it again this year.
Yeah.
We're not participating because, you know, we got to give opportunities to other artists as well.
Okay.
So, you know, that's awesome for bachata.
Yeah,
Hay unión
right.
y hay nombres que se están dejando reconocer and I love that. And these young kids, especially Chavi, Frias, these are artists that are really like up and coming,
Right.
you know? Frias is the one that's like always constantly like giving that documentary and teaching all these youngins like what bachata is all about. And Chavi
That's
is like
beautiful.
the papi chulo, the como es, the rico suave of the bachata. That he sings that he jala tu esta muchachita. Like it's like
He's
Jesus.
like the TikTok.
That's the thing.
It's like all
big
these
artists.
young kids, and it's like
Like this generation.
and it's like yes, it's Aventura. Then it's the J.R. Carlos Rose and us that then came to that generation, and now it's the Chavi and Frias that's now that third generation of the bachata. It's
You
like,
got to continue
you know,
to hand the
it's-
baton down.
You know,
yes.
people don't
I
realize.
love it.
People don't
It's
realize like if you talk to people, they just talk about the old school, you know, Raulín, Frank Reyes, those people.
The
And then-
legends.
And then obviously Royce, Romeo, Aventura. But they don't realize there's a lot of other artists
Yeah.
that they don't know
so
about.
much talent. Y las mujeres femeninas.
Yes.
Judy Santo, you have Chantel Collado, you have Jay Camilo, you have Paola.
lives nearby here.
Paola from J Fabi. Paola, they're another duet as well. That she's a female also. They're also a married couple that sings in the duet.
Look at that.
As a duet. There's so many other artists out there que la gente, they just, if you don't know, check them out.
And they do great songs too.
Yeah.
Good productions.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the monopoly of the business.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they just know Romeo and Royce. That's it.
Which is okay. But,
You know,
también,
at the same time, Romeo opened up the doors.
eso es.
Of course.
Por eso que
He
todos
expanded everything.
nosotros.
That's why
course.
everybody
No me
comes
gusta
under
decir
him.
underground
Of
because
course.
everybody
No,
está donde tiene que estar.
And they will reach where they need to
because
reach.
of him and Aventura,
Yep.
that's why they made bachata cool.
Definitely.
They made
Worldwide.
bachata cool.
Yep.
Yes.
They made it dope. So whatever was whack that we used to listen because of our parents, not because nuestra voluntad, sino because of our
Yeah.
parents, they made it something like listening to what's
Saturday,
trending.
right? But let me tell you, it's not whack. Us now
It's
in
not
this,
whack.
in this,
Mira.
at this
We
age, I
hit-
could tell you.
We hits when it comes to bachata.
Listen, them bachatas from back then, all the
Hey.
they slap. They all slap. But yes, you got to give opportunities to the newcomers, and again, that's what Romeo did. He opened up the floodgates for everybody
I
to come
always
up under.
say, ¿dónde está la cámara? Esa es la cámara.
Yep.
Romeo, si tú ves esto, tú tienes que ser un utopia for the underground artists. Now you did it with the big ballers, but now do it with the underground
There
artists.
you go. I'll record everything
Just
for
to
you.
open doors to all of us as well. With you, the legend, the king. That's all I gotta say.
But then
go.
you know,
I like that.
That's awesome. But
I like that.
But you
That'd
have
be
to.
dope.
That would be dope.
That's great. But you know, it's a catch-22. Like you got to remember, when they came up, they worked hard, very hard.
Oh no, we're not taking the work ethic out of
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
Everybody got to put in their work.
But
wait.
what
We
I'm-
have 20 years doing this.
No, I know,
As
but-
many other artists as well.
No, but I'm
and
saying this
work
for a
hard.
reason.
Okay.
I'm
You're
saying
right.
this for a reason because there are artists that they just think of they want to depend on, let's say, a
On-
Romeo to
yeah,
do
you
something like
see?
that.
Right.
That's ahí
You-
no,
you
que no se me
cannot-
crucen los cables ahí, porque
you cannot
tampoco
think-
di que exactamente.
You cannot do things
Depending
depending
on-
on him to put you on the map.
No, y no es por poner di que
you gotta- you gotta work your way up there.
Exactly. No es por estar
You know?
poniendo en map, sino es también enseñando new talents.
Right.
¿Me entiendes? That's like all these other artists. You didn't have to call me up. You remember that song? It's a fan that he made sing that girl part in that song. Y esa canción se pegó chulísimamente. Fue por esa muchacha cantando ese pedazo.
Look at that.
And that was because of, that was a fan. That she wasn't a professional, she wasn't a singer que you knew already. And other artists like Shakira and other people, they be using these other artists that people really tampoco know. Y se pum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Para nuestra cultura, República Dominiquiqui. Tú sabes, digo yo no sé.
But yes.
Pero no es por fama, no crucemos los cables, yo no lo estoy diciendo, y tú sabes que we've spoken about this, no es cruzando cables de que, para que Romeo, porque es Romeo.
No. You got to put in
Es
the work.
que, you know, he has a studio and stuff, he can make it happen.
Right. No, I'm pretty sure he'll have people kind of like look and vet people and see what they've done throughout their
Es
trajectory
que he
and
sees
all that
what's
stuff.
going on
He sees
as well.
everything.
He knows.
I'm pretty sure.
And,
But that'd
he
be
knows
dope.
who's talented, he knows who's not, he knows who's working, and it's not only him.
a lot of people.
You know, Lenny, Mikey, and mismo Henry, everybody in the
Royce,
industry,
even
they
the
all see
older
it.
eldest men in bachata could do
Claro,
this too.
Raulín, que el
Yeah.
chaval, que Luis Vargas, all of them. Ellos todos lo ven. Yeah, and they all open opportunities.
Who's your
for
favorite
you.
bachata?
Luis Valga, I say that to the
Yeah?
day I die. Where's the Luis Valga?
That's cool.
He loves Raulín.
100%. I love
Yo
Luis
soy
Valga.
la
My
del
wife
chaval.
knows.
A mí me gusta el chaval.
Oh, yeah?
Porque my guy still has the guitar to this day. Muchos bachateros dejaron su guitarra. Él todavía tiene su guitarra y da ese galillo
Luis
de aquí a
Vargas
allá.
still has his guitar.
Luis Vargas, sí.
Oh,
que
come
sí.
on, come on, come on, come
Pero
on. Give it to him.
a mí me gusta mi chava. Cuando tú me dices, desde que tú me engañaste, pra, pra, ay, tengo el corazón. Yo no sé. That Luis Segura Popurrí, to me, that was one of my MySpace songs, too. Believe it or not, that live.
MySpace.
Google
Okay, so
MySpace, youngins, if you don't know what MySpace is.
Top 8.
That was one of
Listen.
my MySpace songs. Mira, we learned how to code and we learned how to do all this crazy stuff because of MySpace.
All
Thank
that.
you, MySpace.
Tom, right?
Listen,
Tom,
but please,
yeah.
no more social media apps. I'm done. I was done with TikTok.
Era para que tú veas.
That's it.
No,
I'm
I
an
don't
Instagram
use
guy.
TikTok like that. I don't like
I
TikTok.
have a TikTok for this page, but I go in and out.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the TikTok followers.
Amen
And
to
subscribe while you're at it on YouTube. Thank you very
Amen.
much.
Right.
You know, you got to throw that in
Yeah,
there
of
sometimes.
course,
I always
of
forget
course.
to say I'm horrible at that. But to all the followers, subscribers, all that stuff, thank you so much. To all the newcomers, to the ones who've been in this since the beginning, I love you. Keep doing it. Yep. But anyway, Liza Willie, thank you so much for joining me in the podcast today.
No, thank
It was a
you.
great episode, great conversation. Thank you for sharing, you know, your highs and lows in the business, your family matters and all that stuff. I shared a little bit too, of course. I always like to throw like family elements in the conversation, of course. This is the Dad's Group Chat podcast, but you know, we have kids and we like to discuss them.
Amen.
And we discuss our kids, and this age group, we don't do that enough. So, you know, thank
It's
God I'm
good
blessed
to
to have a
talk
platform to talk
highs
about
and lows.
this.
I
Yeah.
remember one of our friends, porque yo vivía siempre paniqueada cuando oía cu, cu, cu.
Yeah.
And one of our friends, Marvin, I'll never forget. Nada más oigo yo, boom, boom. Y él me paró y me hizo así. He's like, they ain't crying, you good. After I learned that, I was like, yo siempre hago así. They ain't crying, they good. Ahora me quedo tranquila.
Yeah.
Antes era corriendo y un paniqueo. Uy, uy, uy. Ahora, I'm like, no, también. Yeah, ya. Su momento ya. Está viviendo como lo loco.
I got a last question for you guys. Any more kids?
No.
Heck no.
And we leave it at that because I feel the same exact way. No more kids. My mom always tells me, "Where's the boy?" I'm like, "I'm the boy.
Yeah.
You got the
that's
boy
it.
with me." That's
Let
it.
that because this is the only testosterone you're gonna see in this house. That's it.
I mean,
no.
You know, I mean, I won't mind it if it comes, of course. You know,
Likewise,
but if it does come, I
likewise.
want twins. Ya para salir de eso.
Miércoles,
That's it.
manita.
All
Mira,
right, we good.
ella ahorita ella va a resolver contigo una situación.
I want twins. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking.
¿Por qué?
You got twins in your side,
She's
baby.
giving you the twin
The piece.
sign right there. Yep.
Peace.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, thank you again for
No,
joining
thank
the
you for having
podcast.
us,
Thank you for
man.
coming here.
Some
Jen,
deep
thank you for joining us here.
La comadre.
Listen, I am Mama Juana, I am Vino, ma.
Espérate, que
Esta
por
es
eso
tu
yo estaba
casa.
hablando media luz. Ojalá
Ay,
que
ay,
no
ay.
menos me descedere.
To all the followers, again, subscribers, you know, please subscribe on YouTube, follow on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. I don't use it, but thank you so much for following either way. I love you guys. Liza Willie, thank you for joining
Thank
me
you for
today.
having us.
Thank you.
Guys, we're out. Peace. Till the next time.
Peace.